The story of Nurse Elizabeth O'Farrell. Elizabeth O'Farrell was a midwife and nurse from Dublin who played a critical, though often overlooked, role in the 1916 Easter Rising. Born into a working-class family, she was a member of Cumann na Mban, the women's auxiliary to the Irish Volunteers, and had long been involved in the struggle for Irish independence. When the Rising began on Easter Monday, Elizabeth took her place alongside the rebels in the General Post Office, GPO, the headquarters of the rebellion. She carried messages, tended to the wounded, and helped distribute food and supplies to those inside. Under constant bombardment from British forces, the GPO became a chaotic and dangerous place, but Elizabeth remained steadfast in her duties. By the end of the week, the rebels were outnumbered and surrounded. The GPO was in flames, forcing the leaders, including Patrick Pearse, to evacuate to nearby Moore Street. Realizing they could not win, the leaders decided to surrender to prevent further civilian casualties. It was Elizabeth O'Farrell who volunteered to deliver the surrender message. Unarmed and under a white flag, she courageously stepped into the crossfire, walking through the streets of Dublin to deliver Pearse's terms to the British forces. She met with General Lowe, the British officer in charge, and negotiated safe passage for Pearse to formally surrender. Over the next 2 days, Elizabeth carried the surrender order to other rebel outposts across the city, enduring verbal abuse and threats from soldiers and civilians alike. Her bravery ensured that countless lives were spared by ending the fighting. Despite her critical role, Elizabeth's contributions were largely erased from history. In a famous photograph of Pearse surrendering to General Lowe, her figure was deliberately cropped out, leaving only her feet visible. Today, Elizabeth O'Farrell is remembered as a symbol of the many women whose courage and dedication were essential to the fight for Irish independence. Her actions during the Easter Rising remind us of the quiet, determined heroism that helped shape Ireland's history.